Bushcraft 412, and today a review on the Smith and Wesson 960 large hunting knife. I picked this one up for $10, and I hate to say it, guys, but I think this knife is no longer available at $10. I got it through 888 Knives R Us. Had a bit of an experience with the company. It took, I actually ordered 4 knives total, but they canceled half my order, and then it took them like 12 days to ship. Not the greatest experience with them, but I know there are other people out there who do think it's a great company, but I won't be purchasing from them again. This is one of Smith and Wesson's large hunting knives, and it is a discontinued model, so if you're going to buy one of these, snag it up quick while you can. And actually, I'm not even sure if you can get these for $10 anymore. I got this one for $10, and I know there's a couple other websites that was selling them for $10, but I don't know who has them available still or if you can even get them, so if you're thinking about it and you can get it at that price, grab them quick. Comes with a very nice leather sheath. One of the nicer leather sheaths on a cheap knife in a while. Nice retaining strap, nice thick leather, good stitch job, nice generous belt loop. Very nice for the money. So let's get this out of the way, and we're going to talk stats on the knife. This is a 5 3/4 inch 440C stainless steel blade, about 11.5 inches altogether. You have a kraton handle and a lanyard hole in the pommel. Now, I'm not sure on the construction of this knife whether this is one piece with the handle over, or if it's the knife, the handle, and the pommel welded or pinned on. I'm not sure the construction on that, so I can't tell you for certain. The knife is partially serrated with a chisel grind on the serrations. There is a false edge on the top, as you can see there, a little bit of a false edge. I think this qualifies as a drop point blade. I'm not sure. Give you a look at that, Correct me, guys, if I'm wrong, but I think this will qualify as a drop point. I don't think it's a clip point. I don't think it's a spear point either, so I'd say it's, my best guess is drop point. This is made, of course, in China by Taylor Manufacturing, who makes most of the Smith and Wesson and M-Tech knives. I'll show you here on the box where it says so. Taylor Brands LLC. They do make a surprisingly good amount of fixed blade knives. I found a lot of the M-Tech, not all, but some of the M-Tech, a good portion of the M-Techs, and a lot of these Smith and Wesson fixed blades are actually very good bargains for the money. I've had no problems with the steel. It appears to be, pretty high end for the money. 440C stainless is actually a very good stainless steel, provided it's heat treated properly. And I haven't seen any issues with these blades, this one, or any of the M-Techs that I've been trying out, as being poorly heat treated. Most of the problems seem to be with the finish with these knives. So with that in mind, there are a couple spots on the blade where the finish is not perfect. Let's see if we can pick one up here. Like, for example, right here, you can see where there's a flaw in the finish. But that does not bother me because this is a, $10 throwaway, well, not a throwaway knife, but it's, a $10 just-in-case knife for me. So with that in mind, if you buy this, these are not collector's items by any means, so you do have to remember that they're not going to be 100% perfect. Now let's talk about the use of this knife and why you would either want to buy this or avoid it. First of all, I'm going to say this is not and would not make a good wilderness survival knife by any means. Number one, because of the false edge on the top. Number two, because as you can see, the handle's pretty thin, which means the tang underneath is also very thin. Thin tang like that, I'd be worried about batoning with it. You'd probably be fine doing it a couple times, but if you were to use it repeatedly, you would likely have, problems if you were to. And plus with the handle, I don't know if it would take well to batoning in hard wilderness use. I believe the primary purpose of this knife is self-defense. Very sharp edge, by the way, mind you. This shaves hair right out of the box, and the serrations are very sharp. Some of the sharpest serrations I've ever seen out of a box. This, I believe, is more of kind of a thrusting weapon. You know, maybe a little bit of a slasher. You could definitely process deer with this, no problem. So I think your general purpose of this knife is self-defense. Maybe processing game. You know, it could be definitely, you know, it is a hunting knife. That's what they call it, is a large hunting knife. But I wouldn't use this to process deer. I tend to use something a little smaller to do the job, but, you know, it would definitely do the job. There's nothing wrong with it as a hunting knife. But this, in my collection, is going to go with the self-defense knives. I think this is a good knife. To being it's stainless steel, it's not going to be as susceptible to corrosion. It's a good knife you can stick in your truck, under your seat, in your gun safe, in your nightstand, you know, and kind of forget about it. You know, throw some oil on it and forget about it, and it won't rust up like a carbon steel blade. Now, my philosophy is I buy a lot of inexpensive knives. And the reason why I do that is SHTF scenario hits the fan. I want to make sure I have enough knives in my house for me, my family, and anyone who's with me. Plus a few extras, you know, because who knows, you lose them, they get stolen. SHTF's going to be chaos, you know, so always helps to have extras. And plus, these will make good bartering material. You can trade these for food, bullets, whatever, in a time when there's chaos or a disaster or whatever. So, with that said, I like having a lot of knives. So for me, this is just one of many. If you're purchasing a knife and say you are going to buy this and this is going to be your one and only knife, I don't think it's the greatest idea. Spend an extra $10-20 and get a nicer knife. You know, save up. Get yourself... There's a lot of great $20 knives out there. You know, for example, like the Cold Steel Tonto, the GI Tonto, the Cold Steel Koban. Too many to name. You know, in the $20 to $30 range. There's a lot of amazing knives out there. So if you're looking for one and only knife, spend the extra money, get something a little nicer. If you're looking for, like this one here, a just-in-case knife, something to throw in your trunk, something to throw in your bedstand, whatever, awesome knife. Especially in the $10 price range that I got this. Now, if you can't get this in the $10 price range, if it's no longer available and you're spending $20-30 on this knife, it's no longer such a great deal because it really is outclassed by, you know, the GI Tonto, the Koban by Cold Steel, and just so many other, I mean, not just Cold Steel as a brand, but there's a lot of other brands out there that are making great knives in the $20 to $30 range. So in that price range, you know, it's not such a great deal, but at $10, this is like top 5 material for me. So when you're buying this, keep that in mind. You know, as an extra knife, just in case knife, you know, just an extra SHTF prep, great idea. One and only knife, you know, save up, guys. Get something a little nicer. Save up, and you know, if you're only going to buy one knife, make sure it's a good knife. If you're going to have 20 knives, you can buy 10 of these, and at least you know you've got some extra knives, etc. This is not anything that's going to be of collector value or anything like that, so it's not, you know, going to appreciate in value. So this is pretty much just a, you know, throwaway. Oh yeah, and one of the other things I do like about this knife is the actual Smith and Wesson and the model number are actually stamped into the blade. It's not just whatever it is, that laser etched material on there. It's actually stamped in, so if you hold on to this knife for a long time, that's not gonna fade off or wear off with use. It's actually stamped into it, which I like. I think, you know, it's something people used to do with knives back in the day and they no longer do, and it's nice to see a knife that's stamped like that nowadays. Well, Bushcraft 412, hope you enjoyed the review. Give you one last look before I go, especially at that false edge, because that false edge kind of ruins this as wilderness survival. But like I said, this is self-defense knife for me. Make a very capable hunting knife. It's very sharp. The edge is very nice. Good geometry on the edge. Definitely a very capable and handy knife for 10 bucks. So, hope you enjoyed. Bushcraft 412 with another knife review.